All right. Welcome back for the 9th episode of the YoungPro podcast. I am happily reunited with my co-host, Dustin Kupka.
The weather is partly cloudy with a high of 83 degrees.
And we are joined today with Mason Mitchell. He has been in real estate for 4 years, been an entrepreneur since graduating high school, and even a former race car driver and champion. Dude, I'm super excited to get into your story. Thank you so much.
Let's go. I appreciate it, fellas. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a little while, but I'm super excited to be here, man.
Yeah, and I found out this morning that you two actually already know each other.
Yeah. We've had lunch a few times, and I got set up on the email list and everything. So yeah, we've chatted.
Yeah, you came in the door like, Mason, what the heck?
So I introduced you guys for the first time?
Yeah.
It must have been. That must have been a while ago. It's pre-COVID.
Dude, this was like two years maybe?
Yeah.
Like when I had the Essex? Because I know you came by with the Essex with an investor, right? The second place?
Oh, yeah. We looked at that.
Yeah, it was another guy was with you. We met over in Waukee.
Oh, that must have been my former business partner. Okay, I remember that now. Yeah.
It was like
for what?
2 or 3 years ago. Maybe.
Just networking, I think, or something. We're chatting, and yeah. But then I think the last time was a few months back. We had lunch there at Central Standard or something.
Yeah,
we just chatted up a little bit, but. Yeah, that's crazy how the world works,
cool.
Just
Yeah. Oh, was waiting. I know. We got lunch. I was like, what?
yeah. No, I was wondering if you were going to be here because I see some of the shows and the content you post and stuff, so I was looking forward to it. Yeah.
The only one he missed was the last one. I didn't really have a choice because Tommy was from out of state.
Right. Yeah.
Had to get in front of the mic.
Sad.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I wasn't cheating on you, I promise. I told you right away. I mentioned you. Let him know.
Not for a few days, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, let's get into your story
for sure.
A little bit. Like I covered quite a bit, being an entrepreneur since high school, race car driver.
Yeah.
Now I'm in real estate. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, long story short, I feel like there's a lot, but I'm originally born and raised in West Des Moines. I live there now, but for 6 or 7 years of my life, I lived in North Carolina. That was post-graduating high school with my racing career and stuff. But yeah, I mean, growing up, my dad was always self-employed, had his own business with more agricultural-based businesses. That's what he's always been in, and that side of the family. So kind of had like that business mentality, kind of growing up with that atmosphere, and then. Just being young, I feel like we've all done it with the lemonade stands, mowing lawns or whatever with our buddies and stuff. And I tell everybody that like my last real job was when I worked at Hy-Vee when I was like 17 in high school. I worked at Fairway, then Hy-Vee, and I learned a lot actually from both of those companies and stuff. Just a lot of good traits. But like growing up, racing was my main passion. Like it's always what I wanted to do is like a race car driver. So I started racing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what when you say racing?
Real.
Like what
NASCAR. It was like sponsored or owned by NASCAR.
Yeah, so
220 mile per hour.
Yeah, I ended up racing in a series called ARCA, which is a development series for NASCAR. NASCAR owns the series. To put it in layman's terms, I compare it to basically being like the Iowa Cubs. That's like that like level you're essentially at. The main difference though between that sport like racing and like baseball, football, stuff like that is it's a very financial dependent sport, basically like funding driven, whether sponsors or family money, whatever the funding sources come from. The teams don't really have the funding and reach out to like talent to bring them, it's the other way around. So like, yeah, you obviously have to start with the skill and everything, but I would say majority of it is you need have some sort of funding. And I was fortunate to have that most of my career, but taking those next steps, even being a champion, essentially you think like, cause we won the championship in that series in 2014 and races over the years. And even being at that successful, that's essentially being like, a national championship quarterback in college and not getting drafted to the next level, Right. And so, that's like the reality of that, how it works and everything. And early on, cause we still had our own team and everything. So we had other drivers race for us over the years. I stayed in the sport and we won races and stuff, but I wasn't driving. I just got burnt out of doing that because I knew like it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. And so I moved back here in 2018. That's when I got into real estate. But, early on I was like always trying to like, not necessarily play victim, but like point fingers, the funding, this and that. But I've come to reality, like, if anybody's going to make it happen, it's got to be up to me. Because I've done so much. I feel like to try to fill that little bit of a void in my life. Missing race. I do mixed martial arts training now, which I love it, and I've done other activities and hobbies along the way. But dude, I've come to realize nothing comes close to that for me. I mean, like everybody has like that true, real passion in their life, and if they lose their way from it for a certain time, maybe it takes a month, or in my case, it's been like 8 years now since full-time racing. And like, I've finally come to the conclusion, like that's it for me in my life. Like, so, I'm really working hard to like get back to that point, because I want to do it again, not necessarily for like a long period of time in my life, but I want to do it again to win races, win a championship, and then like just leave on my own terms, because it really wasn't the way I wanted to go out last time, So, but yeah, that's that journey, and there's so much to that. But then I always, had the entrepreneurship mindset and everything, and had real estate in the back of my mind growing up.
Nobody in your family?
A little bit, not necessarily single family stuff like I do now. My aunt was a realtor, but I never really chatted with her much about it. Yeah. My dad did a lot of flipping with farms, as kind of unique, and was super successful with that. But it's totally different than single family stuff. And so, but I, just always hearing about a lot of super ultra successful people. I feel like they always have connections to real estate somehow, whatever it's like rental property or commercial or this and that. And when I was kind of leaving the racing scene in 2018, I started reading some books and came across like the wholesaling avenue. And I moved back here in, I think it was August or September, and I took a course, I bought some course online, and that's how I got started. And then I was doing some meetups.
Who was the course?
It was actually through Wholesaling Inc., Tom Kroll. I'm not sure if you've heard of those guys or not. I actually it was great. Learned a lot of the basics and the new stuff and everything. Looking back, it's like such like little stuff, like, but like at the time, like, oh my God. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, all these pulling these lists or whatever. But so I went to a meetup and met a guy at Travis at the time, and we became partners for a year, and we did a lot of wholesaling deals, and we ended up going our separate ways after a year. But yeah, that's how I got originally started in real estate, and then it's led us here.
How old were you in 2018?
I think it might have been 19. I can't remember.
How old was handwritten signs? Or maybe it was a handwritten.
Yeah, I think it was 19, because I started in the fall. We didn't really start getting active until 19 with deals and stuff. But that's how I started with bandit signs, dude. Like, dude, they work. I mean, yeah, I haven't done them in a while, but I mean, you get the city on your butt and everything, but you got to do what you got to do, right? And so I remember my first appointment I ever went on, I was scared out of my mind. I had my best friend was actually helping me out getting started and writing signs, and I was so nervous to put them out like at 9 p.m. I literally waited till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when nobody was out. We'd go put out bandit signs on street corners and stuff. I got a couple different calls or something. I got a call on this fourplex or something, kind of on the east side. It had a barbershop on the bottom floor, and then there was like 4 units or 3 up top, one on the side. I can't remember. It was a weird, funky layout. Okay, so I took this course or whatever on single family stuff. One, I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at for single family stuff. Then it's like this multi-family deal. I'm like, oh my God, I've never, I don't know, what I'm, this toilet, whatever. And this thing was obviously, looking back, was pretty deferred and stuff. I went there. I mean, I'm just like, my palms are sweating. I'm just like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm just like this terrible. And so went on the appointment, and I'm like, I don't even know what to offer. I don't even know how to price this thing or whatever. And I kind of just, I can't remember if I called them back or followed up. I don't know, but ended up finding out a few months later as time went on that there was another wholesaler, very experienced guy in town, that ended up getting a deal, wholesale that made like 10K. And it's like, that was like that, sometimes we go through little things in life that like kind of click and like, just make you realize, okay, like it is, yeah, okay, like, that was an opportunity or something or whatever. But yeah, that was like my first appointment I ever went on, and it was definitely a crazy learning experience. But then we just, I met my business partner at the time, and we just stayed consistent with it. Bandit sign, that deal, we crushed it with bandit signs that year. I've tried doing them a little bit here and there, but since I don't know, they're so inconsistent. But like, yeah, we've man, I feel like a wholesaling, to be somewhat of a successful wholesaler, especially starting out, you have to go through so many unique situations just to get the deal across the finish line. I've made, well, I didn't make, but like one deal, dude, a seller brought money to closing just to close the deal because we were super convenient. We were cleaning up so much crap on his record with judgments and liens and all this stuff. And I've had to move people out of their houses, go to like an hour away, set up a storage unit. I mean, you guys know how to, you just do crazy stuff to make it happen. And so, yeah, dude, it's been, yeah, man, it's been great, but yeah, it's so much, it's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Thinking of signs, why does everyone, so I put my real estate signs on the yards. And, dude, people, I had like 2 signs last week. People were just like, I don't know, some kids are like playing on it or something. Like I came over, I'm like driving, I'm like, God, that sign's, must have been, the wind or whatever. I get over there and this thing is just twisted, busted. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, leave my signs alone.
I don't get it because I had a property.
Same thing. They don't like.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, because I got, when we were doing bandit signs pretty heavily. I mean, technically, no. Well, so.
They just take them.
Yeah, there's actually, I learned this. There's a place downtown that it's like a recycling facility that they take all the signs across the city. And they put dude, me and my partner, we'd go down there and just take our signs back.
Oh my God.
And we just reuse them, man, saving a few bucks.
Yeah.
Like nobody cared. Like there's city workers all around. We just whoop and put them back in the car and just head on out. And it saved us a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to go pick them up.
Yeah.
Just go.
Well, we would just, we left them out and because they got taken down. Yeah, I swear, like I'm like, after doing it for a while, I'm like, I came to the conclusion, one, there's no way that each sign gets taken down by city officials. Like I'm sure there's obviously some because they show up in the city recycling lot, but they got to be this like random individuals, maybe competition to a certain extent that they're just don't want your signs out there. I don't know, but we didn't really care. We just had the attitude of just buying signs, putting them out, and let them be.
So one of the things that I found it works really well is like putting the signs in someone's yard, right?
Yeah.
Great opportunity. One, you go knock on their door, gives you a reason to knock on the door, have a good conversation, ask permission to put a sign on their yard.
Yeah.
Either way, whether they say yes or say no, but you're still knocking on their door and having a conversation, and they're like, and it's
what do you do?
What do you do? And have a good conversation.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, and a lot of times they're like, dude, you're like the only one that's ever asked me to put, permission. I really appreciate. Yeah, go ahead. I don't think I've ever had anyone. Either they don't answer. I've had people like not answer it. Yeah, it's like
right.
Like, why are you answering the door? But I've had that, but I've never had anyone like say, no, I don't want you doing that.
Yeah.
I'll ask how long or whatever.
Right.
But that's like a little house hack. Try to just easy way to to have a conversation without.
I've never tried bandit signs.
Yeah. No, I mean we've bought a lot of houses doing it that way, and then I've sold a few houses on contract that way, just putting the signs out and stuff. But like I've always wanted to do that, kind of an idea like similar to that, put a little team together, just door knocking, kind of like you're driving for dollars list where you drive around and look for properties that look a little rough or whatever, and you make a list of that. We'll do that instead of like whatever marketing strategy you have with that, whether it's direct mail or this. Put like a team of door knockers together and just knock on the door. I've heard of people in bigger markets doing that, having some success. For me, it's like going up somebody's door like all day. It's like door-to-door sales, right? But no, I mean, yeah. But no, the bandit sign thing, I mean, it was really successful there for a while. And I haven't done it in a little bit here. I've done it here and there, and just, I don't know, probably wasn't just consistent with it enough. But like
besides the bandit signs, what other marketing?
Yeah, so like early on, like right now, I actually don't do really any of my marketing. I work with this like particular buddy of mine that does primarily just wholesaling right now. So I just buy deals directly from him, which I'm very fortunate to have that relationship. And I'm always open to obviously buy from whoever. But before when I was doing my own marketing myself, or when I had my partnership, we were doing bandit signs, some cold calling, and then some direct mail stuff, just trying to hit a few different areas, and it all worked. I mean, the cold calling at first, dude, it was brutal. I mean, it was me and him. We had just our computers set up, and we had a Mojo dialer, so it was a 3-line dial. We ended up having a single line dialer at first, and there was 3-line dialer. So you basically input your data, and we'd skip trace all the addresses and stuff, and then you would just call them, and it would just be just popping out calls that you'd be nonstop just talking about. I mean, obviously you get a lot of no's, or people tell you to get lost and stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like if you can get through cold calling in life, you can pretty much overcome any challenge. It is brutal. Yeah, that is a job I don't want to do. But
I kind of like it when people call me. You know, they text me. You know, hey, I want to buy your house.
Oh, the text messaging stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, sweet. $300,000.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we'll have to come and do a market analysis. You know.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I want a good deal. And they're always, well, we have to do market value. I said, I don't want market value. I want a really good deal.
Yeah.
And they're like, they just don't know what to do with me, you know?
Yeah.
I'll sell it.
Yeah.
They don't know an investor's on the other side.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's like, I don't know if you guys are part of I don't know if you guys are part of some of these groups on Facebook. There's one Des Moines real estate group or something that people post, I feel like, a lot of deals in there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know if it's just me. There's a few other people that like agree with me, that I have like a kind of a group text with some other investors. They're like full retail deals. I'm like, where's the deal in this?
Not even a deal.
It's not even close, dude. Like, we're investors. We buy stuff way discounted, right? I don't know who's buying this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I think it's changing a little bit because obviously the market shift with rates and stuff, maybe. But there was a time there I feel like everything was getting sold. And I don't know how people were making it work, you know? Like, yeah.
I don't think they are. I mean,
They're struggle right now.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it too, you know, with investors, and we're, you know, Ethan, we've kind of talked about this, but you know, you have your team set up, you know, you get your contractors, you get all these people, and sometimes you just buy a deal just to, you know, keep people working.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want them jumping off the jobs and going to another.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Project.
Yeah.
Keep things flowing. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of times investors just buy a property not really knowing that they're probably not gonna make money, but they're just to kind of keep their team.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, yeah, I did that myself, actually. I look back now, like a couple of years ago, kind of right when the COVID stuff started hit, I took a deal. I mean, it ended up being a decent deal because I sold my contract and stuff, but like just to have a deal in my pipeline, because I was doing a decent chunk of the work. It wasn't like heavy lifting work, but it was just simple stuff with the remodel that I was doing myself. So it was kind of like basically keeping myself busy, keeping myself paid essentially to keep everything going. But yeah, you're totally right on that. And I think people do that a lot, and you know, it's not a good habit to be in. I understand the concept, but it's
there was an agent that we know, and he said that he buys flips just for the content behind it. And he goes in knowing that he's gonna. You remember that?
Yeah.
We're not gonna say his name. But
but this.
I never just heard that, which is fine if that's part of your marketing, like whatever.
I mean, he's a real estate agent,
and he kills it. He kills it.
Yeah, he kills it, and he had. I mean, this property was like $100,000 remodel. I mean, it was
gorgeous remodel.
And so he did a lot of, and so you know, he's able to put that stuff on social. But he pretty much knew going into it.
He wasn't gonna make money.
He's like, I'm not gonna really make money, but I can use it as
right.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah, but is that content really? How much value is that? I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guy, but
well,
yeah.
I mean, content.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Can be super valuable.
oh, for sure.
But he also said now, you know, he's trying to stay in his lane.
Like that deal, Cameron School Road is on market right now for $599. Remember I said that to you?
Yeah.
All right, so this deal was my first ever viral TikTok. It was like how everything on TikTok got started.
Yep.
I had a neighbor drove over on his lawnmower and like offered to give me like $50K more than I bought the house for 3 days prior, and paid me to do the remodel.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Hey. I bought it for $225, sold it to him for $285. It is now. We did the project.
Yeah,
so I know how much went into that thing, and it's like 130, 140, especially because they poured new concrete or whatever.
All right,
He's got it listed at now $599.
Yeah, 600.
Woo.
Yeah, the funny thing is, all these people on TikTok, you're an idiot for selling it.
I look back at it and it's like,
you had a lot of people on social media telling them that why'd you do this? You left so much money on the table.
Like why you wholesaled it for $50,000, right?
Yeah, like why?
You should have held it. Also,
but one, we didn't have. I don't know. I wouldn't if I could go back. I would.
Man, it's $50,000 real quick though. The wholesale, that's tough to pass up.
Like what?
Well, here's the thing.
3 days.
Here's the
3 days.
Here's the thing though. It's listed for $599.
Bingo.
Not sold.
Yeah.
For
Well, and then hindsight's always 20/20, man. Like it's like,
but then if I would have to trade all the TikTok stuff, I don't really know because
yeah, I mean,
I met Derek, I met
yeah,
Ashley.
sure. Dude, right? Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Plex together and the 57 plex. Me and Ashley own the 4 plex out of state.
Yeah, and that was really
literally all from TikTok.
Right, and it happened so quick for you.
So quick.
Yeah.
It was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, you can't second guess. I mean, we do, but
And,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's like
you still made money.
Yeah.
Learned a ton from it. But
No.
I saw that when he said that. I started smiling. Because I never saw the property. I never saw
that one. Dude, the property next door was 1.8. The one right across the road was like 750.
Yeah, like
the other one, it was like 900 right down the road.
Whew. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I've learned, so much with it. I didn't do a ton of fix and flip starting out, like just the wholesaling stuff, right? And then I bought a rental property, basically kind of a turnkey. It was just a small house, so 1 bedroom, 1 bath in 2019. Learned so much from that process. The banking process, typically. My amortization schedule was terrible because it was my first loan with a bank. I'm forever grateful for that relationship that I have with my banker on that deal. Like we have a really good relationship. Because of that. Yeah. And he was actually a racing fan. We met at Newton at the Iowa Speedway. He came up to me. He knew who I was from my racing there. And because we won there in 2015, and he came up to me and then he told me what he does. I'm like, I told him what I'm doing now. And then a few months later, we reconnected and we were able to make a deal on a refinance. And that was my first deal with a bank. And you guys know how it is. Like, I feel like anybody with a W-2 that can almost fog up a mirror can get a loan with a bank, but being an entrepreneur and a small business owner, it's almost impossible. It's like pulling teeth. And you're like, man, I'm out here, crushing things and making things happen and this and that. And you guys don't want to do anything, But so big reason why I'm forever grateful is just because he took the chance on me and everything. And then it's paid off. We've done a few other deals and I've paid them off and this and that. So, but that deal, because I thought I bought it at a decent price and the rent was unmarketed and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, well, they're just going to do an appraisal on it and it's going to appraise a lot higher and they'll loan me that. Well, no, that didn't how it was like loan me what the purchase price was. So I ended up having to keep money in the property, which, anyway, it's going to work out fine. It was only like a 15-year amortization. So at the time, like my cash flow wasn't like, I still netted cash flow every month, positive cash flow, not much. But I look at it now, I'm like, man, I have like 50% equity in that deal now. So it's like, at the time I didn't like my terms, but I'm like, man,
but you're in it.
The net worth and everything's like, it grew really quick on that deal. But so I guess where I was going to was like, I've actually started doing a ton of fix and flips this year just because I've been able to surround myself with a lot better people and with Adam's a buddy of mine. He's done a ton of fix and flips. He's give me a lot of advice and help with contractors. And I feel like it's like anything in life because it's essentially like a team sport kind of because everybody's working together for one common goal. They got to do a good because they got to get paid and they got to do a good job. If not, they're not going to keep having business and vice versa. We got to do a good job with our house and make money and everybody works together. And so I've got a lot of really good contacts now and a really solid group. I feel like from electricians to plumbing to like to main contractor to do a lot of the work, just, everybody, little trades here that like things go a lot smoother, a lot quicker. There's no BS. The quality's great. My biggest pet peeve, and I can't stand it when people, whether it's in real estate, personal relationship, anything in life. It's like when somebody's going to say they're going to do something and then, you know, like they just ghost you or something. Like I went through like 3 or 4 plumber. I went through like 3 or 4 electricians just to get to a good one, which that's great that it led me to a good one. But it's like, how are these people still in business operating like this when you get them to do a walkthrough and then they like don't contact you back about a quote or scheduling or this and that. And it's like, you're like, I don't have time for that. Like I'm not a babysitter, you know, you're a grown ass adult, like do your job, man. It's super easy. But anyways, so yeah, we've been focused on a lot of fix and flips recently. And, at first, man, I hated doing those, but when you surround yourself with good people, like it makes everything so much better in life. Yeah.
You know, I think to speak to that whole, you know, contractor or really just, you know, interviewing those people and you know, I've had a couple recently working with real estate, working with other buyer's agents and having them working with their clients, and they literally
make their houses nicer.
No, these clients they put an offer on one of my houses, on one of my clients' houses, and then they ghosted them. So the buyer's agent, called the buyer's agent, I'm like, hey, how's things going? I haven't heard from my buyer. And I'm like, what do you mean you haven't heard from your buyer? They just vanished. They I don't know, buyer's remorse, but they put the house under contract, never communicated with the buyer's agent.
What?
And so I think about that, right? I'm like, how does that happen, right? And I think, you know, when it comes to, you know, work with contractors or whoever it may be, or you know, work with a client, I really think like you have to do your due diligence of really sitting down, taking the time. You know, you think it's a waste of time, but really taking the time and vet them out
100%.
and find out what their goals are. Because the thing is, we have this vision of what we need these contractors to do, or what we want, you know, or helping clients, you know. But from the wholesaling or flipping, you know, we sit there, we have this box that we want our contractors to fit in. But like I got a buddy right now that he won't, like I've asked him to help in a lot of our remodels or, you know, our rental properties when we have something that breaks, and he just, you know, we had a good conversation, and he's like, Dustin, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm not interested. And I'm like, why aren't you interested? He's like, dude, that's not what I do. That's, you know, I can do it, but I just don't do that. I'm like, dude, I'm giving you an opportunity to have a lot of work. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he started talking to me, and he's found his kind of like, he's learned what he likes.
This is the deck guy.
This is the deck guy. And he didn't really know what he liked until he got into it. I mean, this guy was a digital computer, worked downtown, super successful, making $100,000, quit his job to just do what he's passionate about, which is building, you know, just construction. And he basically started his company from scratch, and now he's doing all kinds of, you know, work, but he has his lane. He's here, and he doesn't deviate from it, and he kills it. Yeah. And this is where he's at. And I think a lot of times we try to make contractors or whatever fit our mold of what we want, and really it's a win-win. It has to be a win-win. Like, what are you good at, and what position can I put you in to be able to focus to be successful?
Right. Well, you were just talking about
in this
that
mental.
with Shannon and Kurt and trying to build this new team.
Yeah. I mean, really, because, you know, if it doesn't work, it's not. I mean, we're trying to find a mindset, a mentality. We're trying to find, you know, what's important to them, because what's important to them, this person, is different than what's important to this person.
100%. Yeah.
And then you struggle with it, and just finding, man, once you find those right people,
oh my God,
then you do whatever you can to just keep that person.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, whatever it is. Like,
I'm a big believer in taking care of people, like, you know, that especially like they're just good people in general, and like they do a good job, all that, like 100, do whatever you can. But like
it's
one thing,
to find them, though.
it is. So, like I respect, like with like him telling you that though, like I've had to struggle with people that, you know, they ghost you or whatever. I'm like, man, I'm a grown ass adult, and so are you. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings by telling me you can't do the job or this and that. Like, you know, we carry on. Like, it's all good. Like, I lose all my respect when people just just totally ghost you, whether it's in personal life or business or whatever. Like, it's.
I think people just don't like. They don't like confrontation. They don't want to feel like they let people.
Yeah,
down.
maybe. Yeah.
You know, they just they always want that backup plan too. You know, they're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out because they want work.
They know, they want work, but they don't want to like.
But they're not willing to
commit.
Yeah, so they're really wanting this, but they're like, man, I got a backup plan, so I got to go over here. But then when this becomes more clear to them, then they kind of just shut the door to all these people, but they don't tell you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude.
And it's like this my last guy that I'm going to keep working with that does probably 60% of the scope of the work as far as like the remodel process for me. I'm going to try to work with him as much as I can because he's a really good dude. He's got a great crew.
Videos?
I don't think I've posted him in any videos yet. When I did a walkthrough, they were like probably in the background, but I never done like a one-on-one.
I thought I saw standing next to a guy.
Yeah, that's my electrician. He's a guy actually I've met through mixed martial arts training. Dude, great guy. He's a couple years younger than me. Started his own. He's been doing electrical work for a long time, but started his own business like a year ago. Runs a really good operation. But like the main contractor guy, like he has a great crew. They're all like professional looking, wearing like nice polos and stuff. They got like good equipment. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that's going to make or break somebody's business, but like it definitely goes far, and they keep stuff clean, this and that. And biggest thing too, we have like an agreement written out. Everybody, it's 100% transparent. Obviously it was a learning experience, and I'm not blaming anybody except for myself, but like, I hate when contractors say one thing. Like I had this one contractor I did a lot of work with, and good dude, but it'd be like, okay, we're going to do this whole scope of work. We'll go through it all. And then it's like we have an X number on it. Well, then like, you get a call later. I'm going to need $5,000 more and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Like, I can't stand when it's like, they quote me the right price from I know it might be a little tough, but like, I'd rather be safe than just, I hate when they come back, more money. When it's like, dude, like, and so with having a good team now, like I haven't had any of that now. It's like, boom, just like, when you get around the good people, they know what they're doing and there's no BS or whatever, and we stick to it. Obviously there's going to be little stuff pops up for sure. I understand that, but just when you get in a pattern of it, it's like, man, it rubs me the wrong way. Yeah. So
It's a good way to...
I had a thought when I was coming over to have a conversation with another investor friend of mine. He does a lot of creative financing here in Iowa, like subject to deals and stuff. But like we were golfing last week and had a conversation about it, just with like, cash flow goals and leverage and deleveraging. But like, your guys' thoughts on like that, but also like equity versus like cash flow, or like appreciation versus cash flow. Like, some of these guys play. Yeah.
For young, like older, more established me would probably lean towards appreciation. Mm-hmm. Right now, I don't have a job.
Right. This is it. I know, like
I don't got no job. I'm going to bottle one way ticket to Thailand. Cash flow. Cash flow. Care about my net worth right now.
I gotta get that money. No, yeah, like my simple answer to that too is like, I mean, I see both sides of it, but your equity and appreciation doesn't pay your bills right now.
I like equity in the sense of if we can do a remodel, or once we get this 57-plex figured out, and raise the rents and put in the new elevator and kind of do some of those things. That'll be an equity build in itself, just because of how multifamily properties are worth. Equity will, at that point will be phenomenal. But in the boom market, our appreciation will be whatever we boost the rent by. Right. We won't actually. The building will actually appreciate.
Right. Yeah.
Not even like Des Moines. Des Moines, probably like 3 or 4%. But.
Yeah, but like I guess what I'm getting, like, so say I bought a property, just something like $100,000 today, whatever, and it's renting out and cash flowing me net, single family house, it's like $300 net, whatever, a door. Let's say it's $100,000 house, and then 10 years from now it's $200,000. Okay, that's great, but that $100,000 appreciation didn't pay me a dime. You know, it increased my net worth essentially, but it's not paying me right then. It's not paying my bills. You know, the cash flow is. So like, you know, him and I were talking about this, and I'm kind of on like my current trajectory is like, I have like kind of a number goal, like short term wise of like cash flow where I want to be, where, you know, pays all my living costs plus a little extra. And then at that point after, maybe focus a little bit more on deleveraging, because, you know, you get a lot of guys too talking about like, oh, just wanting like 500, 600, this crazy amount of doors, which I think is great to have big goals and stuff like that. But like for like certain people, like if you think about it, and depending what you are, if you're single or maybe have a family, somebody, all you really need, you know, is 10, maybe 20 houses free and clear.
Free and clear.
And you can make bank.
Years, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're netting, I mean, say you're netting $700 a door, you know, after you pay your taxes and insurance, whatever, you have a little bit of money going for some deferred maintenance stuff for each property. And, you got 20 of those free and clear. I mean, that's what, 14 grand a month coming in net. You know, it's like 168,000 or something like that a year.
Yeah.
Net money. And that's not even including your net worth, which would be, say it's $150,000 house average. That's $3 million. So, that's pretty good, you know?
Yeah. It's amazing when you look at it like that.
Yeah. You know, you don't really need that much. I mean, I think I kind of know you guys' mindset. Like, I feel like we all want a ton more than that, but just keeping it in layman's terms for the newer investor, it really doesn't take that much to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when you do pay down your houses, though, I will, like, there's nice headache that's removed, but when you pay down those houses, you lose that form that's, you know, that source of income with principal pay down.
Right.
From the tenants, you know?
Yeah.
So, it'd almost always be better just to carry like a $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
You know, and then refinance,
Yeah.
and just pull out.
Yeah.
Go get a new car. You know what I'm saying? Keep just a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the single family, I mean, I think versus multi-units, I mean, I think a lot of the multi-units, those type of investors are looking more for the cash flow.
Oh yeah.
You know, for sure.
Yeah.
And then the more single family, I think, are looking for the cash flow, but they're really focused on that appreciation. Most of my investors I work with that are, you know, typically working with the single family are the investors that it's, you know, they're not in it full time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a huge amount of units.
Right.
They're just, you know, have 3 or 4 or 5 houses.
Yeah.
And that's just another opportunity to have a little bit of retirement,
Yeah.
you know. But the ones seem like the ones that are really focused on, you know, really growing their net worth or growing their cash flow seems like they're really focused on trying to get any type of, you know, multi.
What are you focused on now? You're, you know, older than we are, just like decade or so.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you take that.
By a decade, which is very true.
Oh man,
a little more than a decade. I think I got started later than you young bucks, right? So I got started when I was, you know, 37, 38. Okay, so I'm playing a little bit. I'm older, but I'm still new in a sense of 5 years in the real estate game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think it's, you know, age. It's more when you get started in the game, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Is everything, because then you're like, okay, how do I? Because whether you're 25 or you're 55, you still got to learn. It doesn't matter about age.
It's a whole curve. It's the same curve.
It's the same curve. You still got to learn what the hell you're doing with this. You know how to be successful. So I think it's, you know, for me, when we got started, you know, we started with flipping a house and doing the Burr method, and we actually turned that house into a rental. And so like February of 2018, when I signed my first lease, and it was a single family Burr house. And today we're cash flowing about $600 from that.
Wow.
Which is awesome because rents keep going up, everything. And, you know, we refinance once out of it, pull the cash out. So if I didn't pull out that cash, man, that'd be.
Is that your net number you're talking about, cash flow?
That's after, yes.
Yeah.
Minus repairs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maintenance, you know, but about $600 every month to, you know, do whatever I need to.
Yeah.
But all the bills are paid and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so we've started that, and then we jumped into, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, we had a couple of those single families, and then we we bought a 5-plex, and then we bought a 4-plex, and we got me and Ethan got the 6-plex together over in Ankeny, and then we, recently last year I got a duplex. So I got a 6-plex, 5-plex, 4-plex, duplex, 3-4 single family, 3-4 garages, and then we bought this 57. But so I'm still in a baby stage of figuring out what the heck I like.
Right.
Because they're two different types.
Two completely different ballgames.
I'm
I agree.
Much of a conservative, type of investor. Because I have 3 kids and I have a wife and I have, I think my risk tolerance is a lot different than younger guys that can maybe get out of it quicker. So which makes sense why I have these 6-plex, 5-plex, and I have garages, and I have single family.
Yeah.
I don't know really what is successful.
Right. Yeah.
I really don't know what I feel like is really working well for us.
Mm-hmm.
What I do know though is that it always takes more than what you think.
100%.
I was talking to my accountant, and I'm like, we're trying to do all this and get these. I want my numbers. Talk to my bookkeeper. I want my numbers, man. I want to know where I'm at. And he's finally, he goes, Dustin. He goes, those numbers are great for taxes. He's like, I get it. You need to know. You need to know where you're at.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, because then you can make decisions.
Yep.
But he said, the best way to know where you're at is check your bank account.
Yeah.
How's your checking account doing? Because after you can number crunch, you can have these cool spreadsheets, you can have all this cool stuff, but at the end of the day, what's really happening with your bank account? Because that's really and he goes, if that's going up, you're doing good.
Yeah.
If it's not going up, something's what's going on, right?
Yeah,
and
no, absolutely.
I'm still trying to figure out if mine's going up because we''ve been buying so many, and so I don't know. I asked me a couple of years, once I think the smoke clears, because I feel good about it. Especially the last 2 years of appreciate with the values of properties.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's like, I've the last couple years and kind of maybe a little bit since I got started, I kind of ran myself and my business kind of in like I don't know, you want to call it like a cash poor position, but like asset heavy, kind of like just focused on like long-term growth essentially. And I'm like, now this has been the busiest year ever. Yeah. And I'm really focused on growing those like cash reserves. And like, that's why I'm doing so many fix and flips to get like, cash built up. Still I got a property that I'm going to buy. I'm going to do the Bird method on, add a rental to my portfolio here this fall, but I've been just doing a lot more flip wise to build up that cash, because I was just doing like, some contract sales and stuff and this and that, and, do some wholesale stuff to get by, but it was mainly just focusing on long-term stuff. Good, but in the short time, you don't have like a lot of liquidity to, enjoy life or, invest in more stuff. But and like, I don't, one mistake I made, I've made plenty of them, but like a big mistake I made was like in early 2020. I just kind of went on my own and was like hitting heavy into wholesaling on my own, and like all the COVID stuff happened and had some personal stuff going on, and we've all been through that stuff, and I really let it take advantage of me, and I pulled back big time. I stayed doing some stuff, but I was not active at all. Well, I was active, but just not where I needed to be. And looking back, it's like, dude, that was killer time. Look how much stuff was going crazy. Yeah. I think it's always a great time to buy, especially because we can buy discounted properties. But like, I'm like, gosh, man, I should have. And that's so I've just changed my mindset of like, just offense, attack, go as hard as you can, and double down. And like, you hear all this fearful stuff from news outlets and recession, this and that. Like, you just got to block out the noise and just push forward and, just double down. And that's why I've went super hard here with getting more flips and this and that. And obviously I'm not going to try to put myself in a position just to buy a deal for shits and gigs like we talked about earlier, but I want to, get obviously still a good deal. But looking back, I'm like, man, I was just a total mess and everything, and I should have doubled down then. But we live and learn and go through all those situations. So it was, it is what it is.
But 2020 was dark for me, but I think that's all I did was like focus on business, leave Iowa, and not have great coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I can really I relate to that, dude. Just the amount of business that we've done together in the past like 2 years, like I've just been relentless, and I don't know. Now I'm slowing. Now everyone's telling me to like chill out, so I am actually.
Yeah.
That's why I'm leaving the country.
Even stop.
Buying shit. Stop buying shit.
It's tough for me though. Like I love traveling, man. Like I've been to I went to Hawaii this year and a few other places across the country, and I mean ultimately, that's like my main goal. Soon to be financially free to travel as much as I can, but it's tough. My mind is like going all the time, whether it's thinking about the racing or the real estate or anything that I once I'm gone, like say I'm on vacation or whatever you want to call it somewhere, like that day, like 2 or 3 for me, like I'm like I gotta get back. It's so tough for me to like completely just turn it off,
Yeah.
and I need to really do that, and it's, but it's a recharge mechanism for me too.
Yes,
I go away and I get back and man, I'm just like a gorilla. Just yeah. But it is so hard to turn it off, man. I can't stop thinking about it. But like, you just being on the plane, I'm sure you guys do it, dude. I mean, somewhere in here, on that trip, I had it's like a 5-hour plane ride across the ocean. I mean, I just wrote like pages and pages of goals and this and that. And looking back at it, like I've already accomplished like half of them, like, and I didn't know how in the hell I was going to do it.
Yeah.
But you just do it. And that's another thing too. Like, I think it's really important to have like a goal and goals in mind, or like you want to be here. Like, okay, so, you're at point A, you want to get to point B. And I feel like it's super easy. I've done it where like you just make things way too complicated of like having this detailed plan how I'm going to get here. Just freaking jump, just go after it. I mean, obviously it's probably a different perspective for me to you, because with you being a little older, having a family and stuff, like I totally understand like the risk side that you were just talking about, but like just I got family and friends that they're hesitant, they want to make some personal changes and stuff. They're like, I'm gonna
pay off all my debt.
Yeah, like I want to work out. I'm gonna start though the first of this next month. Why the hell does it matter, dude? Just go now, start today.
Yeah.
One of the best books I ever read in my life. I just finished it. It's called The Slight Edge, and maybe you guys have read it. And I've already started. I was already doing some of that shit. Oh yeah, dude, it's phenomenal. Like unbelievable. Like it's just crazy how certain that you come across certain things in your life. You're like, wow,
Like,
why didn't I see this sooner? But it's like the perfect timing. It's like just fortunate to come across that. But like, it's just talking about doing just we don't like nobody has like this esoteric crazy like ability. Like we're all capable of doing amazing things in life. And all it takes is just doing simple things consistently every single day. And it's just as easy to do it as it is not to do it. Yep. And it's just like, getting up, going to the gym every single morning, eating that clean diet, reading 10 pages of a good book that's going to educate you, making some sales calls, just staying consistent. Like it doesn't have to be crazy leaps and bounds, but just boom, boom, boom. And it's like, it talks about the slight edge curve in that book, and you just slowly creeping up. And it's like, the biggest thing that I've noticed for me, my personal life is my health and fitness and stuff. Like a year ago or so, I like really took it super serious, like working out and my diet. And I've been eating super, super clean. I'm primarily like on a carnivore based diet with some fruits and stuff. So it's pretty unique, but, I do like some of what he has to say. Yeah.
He's on the
yeah, dude. I mean, I'm totally open minded
about it. Like no seasoning and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I have a little bit of chili powder or something on my ground beef, but like I mean I'm open minded. If people want to eat vegetables or be vegan, like I don't care, whatever. But for me, it's been the best thing that's happened to me. Like I used to be like a skinny fat, and now like I'm really like toned up and stuff. But it takes just every single day eating that diet, going working out. I mean, and it took a long time for me to like visualize progress. I mean, sure, other people saw progress before because, you know, like we look at ourselves every single second, right? But like once you have that moment of like, oh my God, like I've come a long way, you know, but it really hasn't been that long, you know, a year or so. And, but it's anything like in business and stuff, just stay consistent at it. And, you know, whatever you have that goal, just do it. And it's not like it's not difficult, you know, you just, but it was a simple, phenomenal book, man. I would recommend that book to anybody. And there's a lot of Slide Edge by, I think Jeff Olson wrote it or something like that. But, it was amazing. There's some of these books have, like exercises for you to do and stuff. And I've never implemented those before when I read it, but like this book, I was like, you know, I'm doing it. And so like I wrote down like everything in there and stuff. But you know, it connected really well to me because I was doing a good portion of that stuff already in my life, but I'm like, I got to take it to the next step and just make sure I do it all. Or,
you know, getting ready to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're always getting ready to get rid of, like when this happens, then I can move forward, whatever. And we're always just kind of like waiting. You know, that book really talks about, you know, it's really just taking every second and just maximize it, and just a little bit, like you said, even like 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Dude, 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, you can't. If you can't sacrifice that, like you get problems. 10
minutes a day, read a book.
Yeah.
You know, like people don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's 10 minutes.
No, I know.
But not only the knowledge you understand, the self, like, you know, just you build yourself up because you know you're important. Not, you know, you can't be reading crappy stuff, but if you can really self-help and just really good, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Completely change everything.
Completely change your whole set, your whole life, and just because of 10 minutes. And that's really, but then if you do that and you do a little bit over here and a little bit over here, like after a while when you look back, you go, you get frustrated because you realize how much time you wasted.
Oh, I know.
Previously.
Oh my God, this makes you, like, from eating better to time management to just the little things every day you just do. And it's pretty cool.
No, I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, like,
all the times I've read that book.
It's like you reread it, or like I got it. I just finished it, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna like come back to this book maybe a couple times a year. It's so good, and there's not been that many books that have really touched me like that.
A book that you think was like,
oh man, you know. I read The Go-Giver when I first started in real estate. That was pretty impactful. You know, Robert Kiyosaki always has good books. I feel like some of those books though, like they're so deep,
and they're deep.
That's like, you know, a little overwhelming. You know, so the Slide Edge is so simple. So I think what's her name? Julie. I think her name's Julie. She writes the How to Be a Badass series books or whatever. Okay. Those were great when I first kind of had that moment of when I was getting out of the racing stuff and like to push me over the edge to jump into real estate. Yeah. That stuff helped me out a lot. So I bought a few new books here that I'm gonna start reading. I think something about thinking big or something. Steve Harvey. Yeah. Steve Harvey. I saw a TikTok. Steve Harvey was talking about it. He's like the two books I'd recommend. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I like Steve Harvey.
Yeah, no, he's good. And but like, the Slide Edge one was phenomenal. And it talks like, so like implemented one of the strategies was basic kind of journaling a little bit. So every morning or at some point in the day, write down, you know, 2 things that you're grateful for. Not some cheesy stuff or whatever, but like, you know, good stuff you're grateful for. And then just journal for a couple minutes of something that's happened in the last 24 hours. That was, you know, a positive, impactful thing. And then they just recommend some like a little bit of meditation stuff and just little stuff like that. Just really has helped me a lot. And something else I felt like I kind of tried doing it, especially with like growing up in the racing and stuff, is like to surround, like I learned early on, like it's really important to surround yourself with really good people. But when you're young and naive, you know, you get so, I don't know, conned into like, oh, this person gonna BS you, and they're really not that good for you. And of lately here, like I went just took a total transformation, probably in the last like few months, honestly, of like putting my foot down. Like I have a, small clique core group of like best friends, core, that. And then, obviously I know a lot of people and business stuff, but like, I'm like, if we're not like adding value to each other's lives, and I just don't want any of the negative shit anymore in my life. Like, I'm getting older and like, I just don't care for the drama and this stuff, like if you can't be a good person, nice and not adding value in my life. Like I just don't need you in my life, to be honest. And it's blunt, but like, I think it's just important because like our time here is so short, really. If we don't know when it's going to end, and there's no time for the BS, the drama, all that, the baggage and stuff. And so I've really focused on like surrounding myself with good people that I want to be, aspire to be true to like your core group of friends, treat people with respect and nice and whatever. And anybody that doesn't fit that criteria, well, see ya. I mean, so yeah, that's what I just turned 28 in June. So it's creeping up on me, man. Yeah.
Well, hey, before we wrap this up, I got a couple things.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's get you like best advice for a brand new investor starting out.
So I have tattooed on me here. It's the word juggle. And I kind of like, if anyone asks me for advice, really, it doesn't necessarily apply to like an entrepreneur. It can apply to like all aspects of life. My advice is learn how to juggle. And I'm not talking about juggling things around your hands like this. I'm talking about juggling the aspects of starting out. So for me, when I was getting started, there was so much going on. I'm sure you guys had this experience with projects and this and that. And you're like, how in the hell am I going to make ends meet? How's the money going to get from over here? I've had to juggle around projects, juggle around money, juggle around this and that, just to get things to meet at the end of the day. And so my advice is learn how to like, go with the flow, go with the ups and downs, juggle things around, because they're going to be hectic and crazy at first. And if you can't learn to deal with all those objects being thrown at you, bobbing and weaving and stuff and juggling around, then it's going to be tough to make it. So I think just learning to accept that challenge and learning that that you're going to have to juggle. And I'm not saying it's a good position. Like obviously you want to position yourself where you don't have to juggle, right? Like, me starting out, it was financial juggling. Like, okay, I might've thought this project was going to be all in for purchase and rehab $100,000, but then they came up to be 110,000. Well, where the hell am I going to get that other 10,000? You just figure it out. So juggle things around. So yeah, that's what I would, advise younger people or anyone really, sometimes.
And when kind of things are getting like too much, like, what do you do to decompress?
Yeah. I kind of took this advice one time from Gary Vee when I was watching him on something, and like, he talked about just like, if he gets overstressed or this and that, and gets towards the end of the day, he just goes to sleep. And like, so I sometimes I do it, dude. I just like, you hear that old saying of like, sleep it off or sleep on it. And sometimes it's tougher because this and that, but like I've had like stress loads, or you just got so much going on and you're just like overwhelmed. I'm like, you know what? Close the book on the day. I'll figure this shit out tomorrow. And I've sleep on it and wake up tomorrow, fresh mind, and I just figure it out. And that's worked for me a lot. I'm not saying it works every time, but it's worked for me a lot. But, I try to, not to go down like the personal rabbit hole or anything, but I'm a pretty open book, just like growing up with, being younger and my parents getting divorced and, my dad going through some financial troubles and this and that, and just going through a lot of, just tough situations. They mold you into the person that you're going to be. And I wouldn't change any of it for anything. So I feel like being through a lot of different high pressure situations, especially through racing, and just all those things in life have made me have some pretty thick skin. And I don't really feel like I get too stressed out anymore. Mm. And another, like, it kind of goes back to the advice that like, I try to put emphasis on like, I just don't worry about things I can't control. And there's a lot of things we can't control. So like, why the hell am I going to worry about it? I'm not going to do any damn thing. Like, it's like the economy and rates and shit. Like, I don't control the lever of raising rates, so what the hell, yeah, and so it's like, you just got to learn to go with the flow and just stay hungry. So, yeah.
All right, to end this off, favorite quote.
So there's a lot of quotes I have and some ones I have in my wall, but like,
said that there's one that
there's like, it's kind of like my own. It's kind of like,
right now.
yeah. It's like my own. It's also like this stuff I've learned, probably taken from some other advice and quotes, but it's pretty simple and it's more of a philosophy than anything, but it's say what I do what I say, meaning say what you're going to do, whether, whatever you're going to do in life, and just go do it. I'm going to go flip this house. Do it. I'm going to go, it's like simple little things. I'm going to show up at 8:30 a.m. here to do this podcast. I'm here at 8:30 a.m., just, so basically it's just a philosophy, like, say what you're going to do and then just follow through with it. It's so simple of a lifestyle, in my opinion. And there's a lot of people obviously don't, but like, I think, that's helped me out a lot, just really implementing that in my life. And it can come across a little cocky or whatever to people, because a lot of people aren't used to that, but like, it's a simple lifestyle, man. I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna do and do what I say. I said I wanted to start training MMA. I'm training MMA, and anything. So
that's good.
Good.
Where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I think it's at Real Mason Mitchell, on Twitter too, TikTok, Mason A Mitchell, I think it is, something like that. We follow each other, so you can go through your pages and stuff. So we're trying to get a little more heavy in the content, just myself. Yeah. I just got a couple of buddy on my phone. Man, like, hey man, follow me around. We guys can take a couple of takes. He don't have the right angles, right, man? I'm like, man, no, you can't hold the phone. Yeah. It's all about the angles, man. Yes, sir. Maybe. Yes, sir. Yeah, I loved it, man. Appreciate it, fellas.